Ghostbusters is a spin-off of the classic motion picture Casper. Kinda. Ghostbusters is the feature-length adaptation of the most hated trailer in YouTube history. Ghostbusters is the 2016 reboot of, well, Ghostbusters. It's directed by Paul Feig and stars Kristen Wiig, Melissa McCarthy, Kate McKinnon, and Leslie Jones. Before I get into the actual review, I just want to preface it with this. This is not a review of the fact that the film exists. I don't think the film should exist. I also don't think that Point Break should have been remade, RoboCop, Total Recall. It shouldn't have happened. Of the movies I just mentioned, though, again, Point Break, Total Recall, RoboCop, and Ghostbusters, this is the best of the bunch. So again, it's not a review, it's not a discussion about whether the film should have existed. That's what I guess this is right now, which is, no, I don't think the movie should have existed. But I do think that the movie was going to be done no matter what. So, with that being said, this is probably the best possible outcome. You had Paul Feig come along, and it's like, well, it's gonna be done. Paul Feig will do something different, and he did do something different. It's not a remake of Ghostbusters. It's a reboot. While some of the characters have some similarities, they're minute. They're not the same characters. Dr. Venkman is not back in it. There's no character like his. There's the closest one to something similar is Kate McKinnon to Egon in the original, but it's not the same character. One of the biggest surprises I had while watching this movie is that Melissa McCarthy and Kristen Wiig, the two biggest comedians in the movie, are not actually the funny ones. They're not, well, I mean, they have jokes, of course, but they're essentially the straight women against the other ones that are being more funny, like Leslie Jones, and in particular, Kate McKinnon. Kate McKinnon, I would say, is the standout of the movie. She's the funniest, and if you ever watched the alien abduction skit on SNL, you'll understand why. But anyway, I would say she's really the standout of the movie. The movie is consistently funny, but not necessarily over-the-top funny. It's more chuckling than laughing so hard I'm crying, but it is still funny. It is a solidly funny movie. Chris Hemsworth, the guy that plays Thor, is also in the movie, and he plays essentially a better-looking Brick from Anchorman. He is dumb as he's dumber than Brick, probably, even. That'd be a good movie fight. Screen Junkies, get on that. Which one's dumber? Speed Round would be a good option for that. Anyway, he's incredibly dumb and actually pretty funny throughout. The special effects are also solid throughout. They're not spectacular, but they're good. The movie also has cameos from every major character from the original Ghostbusters except for Harold Ramis and Rick Moranis. All of those, I thought they worked, and I thought they were all pretty funny. I specifically like Sigourney Weaver and Ernie Hudson. I will, however, say that Dan Aykroyd's cameo kind of stopped the movie in its tracks. It really kind of killed the momentum of what they had going there. I've heard a lot of people saying that the villain didn't work for them, and the villain actually really did work for me. He's played by Neil Casey, who you may know from Secret Santa butt plugs, and he is just a little weirdo and strange and kind of offsetting enough to work as the villain. And I actually really liked what he did and liked his presence throughout the movie, that he was kind of always present in the movie. I liked that. One part I really like is the ending, and by the ending I mean the part after the final battle. I like where the characters leave off, I like some of the fan service they pay, and I like kind of the tease for the sequel. It kind of gets me excited for where they might go with the sequel of this movie. On the downside, not all the jokes land. A lot of the jokes that were shitty in the trailer are still shitty in the movie, specifically the part where Leslie Jones does a stage dive. That joke did not work for me at all. Also, for a movie called Ghostbusters, there's not much busting of ghosts. They'd only really bust like one ghost in the movie, and that's kind of annoying. In the original, there was a whole montage where they busted lots of ghosts. This one, again, there's really only one. You can make an argument for two, but semantics. I would say one. And that kind of annoyed me. Also, now that it's been a couple of weeks since I've seen the movie, it's had a little bit of time to digest, and I will say that it's somewhat forgettable. but it's not a train wreck, so it really doesn't deserve the hate that it gets. So again, Ghostbusters is a funny movie, and while I don't think it should exist, I'm not reviewing whether it should exist or not. I'm reviewing the movie at hand, and it's a solid movie. It's not great, but it is still a solid movie. Ghostbusters is rated B. So given that Ghostbusters is a remake, reboot, reimagining, whatever you want to call it, name a remake or reboot or reimagining that you really like. One I really like is The Thing. John Carpenter's The Thing, not the one that came out in like 2011, the one that came out in 1982, if I remember correctly. That one was actually a remake from a 50s movie, The Thing from Outer Space. I don't think I have to explain why The Thing, John Carpenter's The Thing, is great. If you haven't seen it, watch it. If you have seen it, you know what I'm talking about. So anyway, name a remake, reimagining, reboot, whatever, that you really liked. Make your mark below in the comments section. Please like, share, and subscribe, and thank you so much for watching. Listen, I hate women as much as the next guy, but you know...
What did you just say?
I didn't...
Go do the fucking dishes. Go do the fucking dishes.
Ghostbusters is a spin-off of Casper. Kinda. Ghostbusters is a feature-length adaptation of the most hated trailer in YouTube history. Before I get into the actual review, let me preface the review with, specifically the part where Leslie Jones does a stage dive.